right, welcome back to Top 5 Vinyl, where we show love to vinyl owners. Today I'm here with Lara. How's it going, Lara?
It's good.
And before we get started, I want everybody to subscribe, like, tell your friends, all that kind of, all that cool YouTube stuff. And I understand that you have a YouTube page. Would you like to share where
Yes,
you
I
can be
do.
found?
It's just my name, Lara Bad. Yeah. Lots of stuff going on there. You'll never
That's
know what you'll see.
awesome, awesome, awesome. Okay. And with that being said, vinyl. Did you grow up with a record player in the house?
Well, my dad always had one, but I think I started getting more into it with my older sister. I think she
Mm.
got one for Christmas, and I started realizing like how fun it could be to collect that sort of thing because she would come home and bring them home and we would listen to it like it just came out.
Yeah.
We'd be like, oh wow. We would always
Okay.
like spend time doing that. Yeah.
Mm. Your dad, what kind of music was he listening to?
My dad is a metal drummer, so
Okay.
very musical growing up. Kind of listens to a lot of stuff. You never really know, but
Mm.
I'm kind of like that too. It's very what you like, what you don't like, you really don't like.
Right, right.
Um, but he was very big into metal, big into things like Billy Joel,
Mm.
the Beatles too. Kind of just
Okay.
whatever he liked, grew
Yeah.
up on, I guess.
Okay. Okay. So when you were, well, let me ask you this way. Do you have a favorite record store to go and buy
Um,
records from?
I have a couple. I think it depends because I don't live right in the city of Vancouver. So if I was just casually shopping in the suburbs or the inner city, there's this one place called Innovative Audio that's pretty close by, and they do pretty good deals. I just
Mm.
actually just went there.
Okay. Nice.
But when I was in high school, I went to school in a different city. It was called Langley. And they had more of a hippie vibe. So I used to go to this place called Everything But the Diamonds when they had
Mm.
all this stuff, not just records, like anything you can collect, they had it. So they
Okay.
had a big variety of that stuff. And right across from that was this other place. Sorry, so many places called Crazy Bob's that had a lot of records there too. So I spent a
Mm.
lot of time there and after school and still
Okay.
go there sometimes now.
Okay. And on a single trip to the record store, do you remember like the most amount of vinyl that you walked out with?
Um, I try to I try to keep it not too crazy because I know
Same.
if I let it get above like five, I'm gonna get like 12 because
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, if I come back here, I'm not gonna see it again. I just went to LA and I went to Amoeba Records, or yeah, I think that's what it's called, Amoeba Music Store,
Hmm.
and I think I got four or five, but I couldn't fit all of them in my carry-on, otherwise I would have gotten like a
Hmm.
hundred. So,
Right, right. Okay. And do you remember the first vinyl record that you ever bought?
um, I think it was just from a thrift store, just The Sound of Music.
Okay.
Yeah.
Classic, legendary. Okay.
Yeah, one of my staple albums for me.
Okay. All right. All right, cool. And is there a record that you don't own that you want?
Yeah, like a million.
Mm,
But I don't know. I have like a big list in my phone but when I go to
mm,
the store, I never read it. I just
yeah, yeah.
go in there and look. But there are some things that are missing from my collection, I guess, that I've always wanted. Disintegration by The Cure. I don't have
Mhm.
that.
Okay.
Um, I don't have Thriller. I've always
Okay.
wanted that too. Um, it's a hard question. I feel
Hmm.
like there's so many things that I want that I don't have.
Yeah. Now I
Oh,
found
I've
you
always
on.
wanted Frank Ocean, Blonde.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Yep. Now I found you on YouTube because I saw you sharing off your record collection. How many records do you think that you own in your collection currently?
At the time that I made that video, I think I had 68. It's been a
Okay.
little bit, so probably in the 70s now,
Okay.
like over 75, maybe
Okay.
75 exactly.
Okay. All right. Cool. All right. And being that this is top five vinyl, can you show me the number five vinyl record that you have in front of you?
Guess I will. It's the Jackson 5 Christmas
Hmm.
album.
Okay. Wow. Okay.
Yeah, I love this album. It's almost time to start playing it again, but
Too soon. Too soon.
yeah, not for us. Um, but I found it pretty randomly, but it is one of my favorite albums generally, just because I feel like so many Christmas albums just sound like exactly the same. All the songs sound the same. I think they did a good job doing different versions of the songs. Also,
Hmm.
anything with Michael Jackson, like young Michael Jackson and the singing, it just explodes. It's great. It's
Yeah,
like one of the best voices ever. It's one of my favorites at least.
I agree.
I remember when I found it, it was after school, I think, and I went to that store and they had it in a big glass case and it said
Hmm,
serious inquiries only. And
really?
I was like, we need to talk because I want to know. But yeah,
Is there anything on the back of that on the
it's
back
like a
side?
Christmas present.
Okay. Yeah,
Yeah,
I've never
kind of
seen this.
random, but
Okay.
I couldn't not include it, I think.
Yeah, that's a good one. That's a good one. Okay. You happen to have a favorite song on there? If you had to
I
choose,
saw
if you
Mommy
had to
Kissing Santa
choose.
Claus.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
All right, cool. So that was your number five. Let's go ahead and take a look at your number four.
Yeah, these are kind of all across the board, but it's the Clash.
Hmm.
When I bought this, London Calling, it was probably the first one I bought because before I started buying my own, I used to just take my sister's. Um, but this one was probably the first one I bought that I was super, super excited about. And I realized how fun it is and cool it is to have physical copies of things, I guess, because I kind of, when I was growing up, CDs were just kind of a thing. And then as soon as I had money, CDs were not a thing anymore, really.
Hmm. Hmm. Hmm.
But yeah, I think The Clash is great. It's obviously like a staple that a lot of people go back to and stuff. And growing up, like hearing all the music my dad would play, it reminds me a lot of that. But I don't know. I think when I first heard it, it reminded me a lot of current stuff too. And I thought about how big their influence has been on things that I grew up on, like the Arctic Monkeys and like the 1975.
Hmm.
But yeah, it's great. And the bonus track is great, though it's like a secret track that I didn't know about for a long time.
Hmm. How did that work? It played out and finally came on. How did the bonus?
Yeah,
Okay.
I was just letting it play, but
Okay.
yeah, actually they played that song the other night when I went to the restaurant, a restaurant I went to, and I was like, oh wow, this is the best
Hmm.
song
That's
ever.
awesome. Okay. All right, cool. That was your number four. Let's take a look at your number three.
Number three, it's The Cure.
Hmm.
Lay It on the Door. I think a lot of people, well, maybe I'm just being broad, but everybody has like a favorite Cure album, and a lot of people say like Disintegration or like I don't know, but this one I think is a little bit underrated. I think it has a lot of more upbeat, like jammy songs than
Hmm.
Disintegration. Though I do love that one. I did say that I wanted to own it.
Hmm.
But The Cure, very important to me when I was growing up when I first heard them. I still remember it that I was like, oh, what is this? I have to look into it deeper. But
Hmm.
this one was a birthday present from a couple years ago.
Hmm. Okay.
But I just think all the songs are so good. They flow into each other very well. I love The Cure.
That makes a big difference.
Yeah.
Sonically, it just paints a big picture. Yeah.
Definitely, because I don't know. I think they're very ambitious on their, especially on their other albums, Disintegration and stuff. Like they do a lot of long instrumentals,
Hmm.
but I feel like they do a good job at expressing feelings through that. I don't know exactly how, but I find them so great to listen to.
Hmm. Okay. Now we're about to get into your number two, but of the five, have you seen any of them live before?
The Cure, that's it.
Okay. Where was
Yeah,
that at?
I've
How'd
seen
that
all of
go?
them. Sorry.
I'm sorry, I said where was that at? How'd that go?
It was actually last year.
Okay.
Um, they came to Vancouver and I went with my parents and I cried.
Hmm.
It was really good.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, cool. So that was your number three. Let's take a look at your number two.
My number two is Control by SZA.
Hmm.
I think that, oh, when I first listened to it, I didn't love it as much, but I think I was just a little bit young. I didn't understand what was happening.
Hmm.
But I think it's one of those albums when I get older, people are still gonna be talking about it like my age. I think it's so, it like impacted my generation so much. People still talk about, people still play it now, even though it didn't come out super recently. When I started getting into this, I would listen to it every single day. I was obsessed with it. I feel like she's so, I don't know, it's just so great and her lyrics are so like raw and real and it's not you can tell she didn't write it for an audience. It feels like she just wrote it to express and I love Control. It's definitely one of my favorites of all time, not even just collection, but I play this all the time still, just having dinner and stuff.
Yeah. Yeah. I understand. Yep. 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 Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So that's your number two. And for the grand finale, who do we
Oof,
have for number one?
I'm nervous now. The Beatles, it's Revolver.
Okay. Wow.
But not
Okay.
included. I feel like this is just one probably my favorite of all time.
Hmm.
When I started getting super into music, I was a big, still am like a big Beatles fan, but um lot of people say that Rubber Soul was their big turning point, but I think Revolver really pushed them into a different dimension of music, I
Mm,
guess. They started really experimenting on this one with different instruments and stuff that they hadn't quite used before. But I don't know, I can never not put Revolver as the one, even though I feel like picking five was super, super hard for me.
right, right.
Changed it like four times.
Yeah.
But I don't know. There's something special about this. This is just great, lovely stuff to listen to, especially just alone. It's raining out.
Mm. So,
Um,
so would you say that's been in your top five for a long time? Was that one
oh
that would
yeah.
not leave your top five?
It's one of the ones that I remember listening to it for the first time, and then I remember listening to it like a million times after.
Mm, mm,
Like, same with Control, but yeah.
yeah. Okay, cool. Well, I want to thank you so much for your time and sharing your five with me. I'm
All
going
right.
to put your YouTube information at the bottom so people can click on it and find you because you have your own YouTube page, which is awesome. And yeah, I just want to thank you again for your time and we'll talk soon.
Yeah, thank you for asking.
Of course. Have a good one.
You too.
Thank you.
Bye.